Hello and welcome back to another USF esports stream. Earlier today we had Rocket League, but today now we're going to have some Valorant action here from our USF Gold team.
Yep, it is now going to be Week 5 of the NACE Varsity Premier Star League. It is going to be USF Gold facing off against the Ole Miss Land Sharks, two very prominent programs here in this opt-in conference. We've been talking about them all year long because we've been able to see them play in so many different titles, so many of the same teams against each other. It's just been so fun to watch. But now we've got USF and Ole Miss. Both teams totally defeated thus far in the season, have not picked up a game yet, but that will change for one of these teams tonight.
Yeah, I know you said both of us are iconic programs, but both teams are winless, unfortunately. So this match is really kind of like the groundbreaker for who can start to gain momentum in these last few weeks of NACE.
Yes, of course. You know, we do have about 3 weeks, I want to say, left of regular season play before we enter playoffs. Teams still vying for those last final playoff available spots. Yeah. I don't really have the records of the other teams in the conference off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, I'm sure teams like Boise, like Michigan State are ahead. They have been prominent throughout most of the other NACE games and titles seasons as well. But we are going to be hopping into game here.
Yeah, and it looks like USF usually breaches meta on this map, but I don't really see a breach coming out from either side. It's interesting that both teams are going to come out with a Viper and have a double controller setup here on Sunset, which is a relatively new map if you're not too familiar with Valorant. But
yes, it will be USF starting off on the attack here. It's going to be Ole Miss on defense. USF going to be looking to set a good tempo early on here. It looks like about mirror buys for both of these two teams. The Ghosts coming out in a double tandem here for both sides. Early on, it's going to be a block off for the side of Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss is really making sure that they just kind of have that A space, and they're locking USF out of there. And again, they're kind of playing a little bit of a defaulty setup here. Maybe taking a little bit of aggression towards A here. Jobby could see some action, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and see Faked try and boombot this close corner here in the mid section.
Ooh, a bit of a chunk damage going down onto some members of USF. Going to be able to heal that right back up.
Yeah, and USF are just posturing towards mid here. I mean, it looks like they just want this mid control. Ole Miss are more than content of giving it up. But looks like they're just going to smoke mid. They're trying to see if they can get an early pick here. But 45 seconds, they have to make some sort of move. Looks like they're going to try and open this market door and flush out this Viper. And, yeah, kind of in a standstill. Jobby will get the opening frag onto the B site.
Yep, and that pick should allow USF to generate a bit of momentum. Jobby will fall, but it is going to be Hades who picks it up in return.
Yeah, I mean, World just kind of stuck in that market. Thought they were pincered from both sides, but USF actually had a really quick rotate from mid to come back into B main. I don't know if they're going to expect this flank, though, from Sky. Look at this. But no, it won't even matter. USF is going to push this market, make sure they're going to flush Tempest out, and they do so successfuly.
And now USF playing with numbers advantage. Beautiful pick there coming off from Faked. It is a 1v4 here. And there it is.
Make that a 0v4. Davey Gravy's there to finish it off with the 2K. And USF with a really strong start to opening up this match.
You know, and historically speaking, it has never really been USF's strength to play for those pistol rounds. We've typically seen this team fall behind early, drop the first 2 or 3 rounds or so, and then start to find their way in the game from there. But now they're going to be going for the force buy. They are coming all out swinging early in this one.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of winning the pistol round, having a better econ than the opposing team, and definitely want to force here. Make sure you secure 2 rounds in a row. And like you said, that first round is so crucial because you don't want the enemy team, you don't want the other team to gain momentum. It's really stressful to have to come back if you're down 2 or 3 rounds from losing that pistol round.
Yep, for sure. And early on here, we are seeing both Vipers relying on the same setup on their respective sides, you know, with the defensive Viper going for that B clear, whereas USF's Viper is going to be trying to play for that coverage of A site. It looks like they want to be playing for A more likely than not as they make their approach upwards here.
Oh, there's a little bit of a double setup here in the U-Haul. Faked is going to get one. Is he going to be able to clear out Geb? Yes, he does. That's A site wide, busted open. Hayes has a little bit of a fight coming towards his way. Eli's going to get that one, but Jobby's there for the quick trade. And now Ole Miss bunching up towards the CT for this post plant.
Yeah, USF really being able to take advantage of their vision advantage, really. You know, they just have all the sight lines blocked off, and another kill there for Faked. But they have all of these sight lines blocked off that Ole Miss cannot play, and that's just going to do it for him for a second round.
Yeah, Fake's padding up those stats a little bit against the Pistols, but in a very important 3K nonetheless. And, yeah, doing some work with the Spectre there for sure.
Now, it's really interesting to see the vast different approach between Pistol to round 2. Of course, you have the weapon upgrade and you have the advantage in terms of power. But when we saw round 1 in Pistol for USF, they were playing so meticulously. They were waiting for the moment to strike, whereas there, they created their opportunity. So now it's going to be interesting to see how are they going to look to snowball this, especially now with the force buy coming through for Ole Miss.
Yeah, that kind of flexibility out of USF is what you like to see strat-wise. Like, definitely want a team that can play fast, that can play slow, that's great in the opening round, that's great in the mid round, and in the late game as well. Faked. Looking for this opener, can't quite land those headshots. Geb is going to get a pick on the other side of the map towards Hayes as the double swing over on the ace side is going to punish USF. Here comes Faked on the entry.
Oh, blast packs. Oh!
Wow.
Not going the way that USF wants it, but that's going to be a nice little recuperation pick from Jobby.
Yeah, it is Jobby. Yeah, great job just holding down this B site. We saw him stun, and then Faked really couldn't really do anything else other than that. Like, the deadlock util was absolutely so crucial in that B site.
But now it looks like USF wants to continue pressuring this B site. It's fully stacked. We do see this chamber on a flank here that USF has to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the flank Geb is just gonna be holding. Actually, I think he's just gonna be holding this as USF trying to create some space towards mid. Tempest gets one. Oh my God, Davy Gravy is so blind, and Tempest is gonna finish out that round.
If Tempest didn't have the sight of the cross into the corner, it looked like Davy Gravy might have been able to find 2 there, keep the round alive, maybe keep USF's hopes around for a 3-0 early start to this first game. But with that, it is going to go into a bit of a momentum shift here for Ole Miss as they look to get back into this and they start to generate a little bit better of an economic situation for themselves.
Yeah, I definitely want to string those rounds together, build that economy. That's so important. And I want to go back to that deadlock util on B. We have sonic sensors set up. You can see on the mini map, sonic sensors, one at the entrance and one towards the kind of mid B site. And she also threw her grenade that makes people crouch and slows them down. That's the type of util that breaks down defenses, and USF were not prepared for it that round. Breaks down offenses, excuse me, and USF were not prepared for it that round whatsoever. Jobby's going to go ahead and see the jump push. He sees Ole Miss are running the same strat for pretty much every round now. They want this A main control, making sure that this portion of the map is locked out.
Yeah, and now USF once again following back into their round 1 protocol, trying to play that meticulous, slow style that allows them to really see how the map is developing. It looks like they're going to be opting towards making a play here in lobby on A side of the map. They're going to be able to blind 1.
Oh, they get Geb so low. Eli puts out the flash to just slow USF down just a tiny bit, and so does the Astra orb as well. And it's Davy Gravy looking for this fight here.
Oh, that's going to be the stun coming out from the Sky Dog, but she is going to get caught out in return. It is a 1-for-1, though, in the grand scheme of things. Here's Faked. Ooh.
Looking for the flashy entry, not going to get it. Tempest is locking down this site. On for the 4K.
Oh.
No, Geb is going to take that. But wow, Tempest is on a roll right now.
Yeah, and it looked like USF just started to break down what their plan was. It felt like they wanted to wait for things to develop in front of them, but once you had 1 or 2 members fall, you kind of just forced it there, and it didn't work out in their favor. We saw Fake to try to once again go for the hero play that did not come to fruition, and that's just going to ultimately spell quite a deficit here now as they are not in the best situation to respond to a full buy.
Yeah, they were lacking a little bit in team coordination perhaps. Faked was going out, entering onto the site. No one was there to really trade him. Or no one was there. They had so many angles to cover and they weren't. But props to Ole Miss though. They were They had a great crossfire going. It's really hard to clear those types of angles from both CT and the box in sight. Eli is going to get the opener on the Jobby.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Ole Miss to play a little bit more aggressively, right? Like, they could just sit back and wait for USF to try to make a mistake here. But now that they're playing with man advantage, we're going to be seeing it here. On A side, they're going to be pushing up. Tempest is also going to find one mid.
Yeah, Tempest holding that off angle. Not expected from Davy Gravy. But yeah, once again, the opening pick that we saw on the Jobby, again, it's that A aggression. Once again, USF don't seem to have a consistent answer for it.
Definitely not, and it doesn't help that most of the defensive setup is on B as well, so you really don't have any form of entry if you're losing that opening pick.
Yeah, not at all. When you have the Sentinel set up on B and that A setup like that, it's really hard to clear. Tempest is doing some work. Nice shot from Crocs. Eli's going to get the last kill with the dog onto Hades. And Ole Miss have taken the lead here.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3-round split for them. That's going to be a nice little way for them to generate a lot of pressure here in this early rounds. Of course, we still have another half or another half and a quarter of the game, 3/4 of the game left. So still not soon enough to call any decisions made yet. But USF really needs to start finding a way to get back into this here, especially with how threatening Tempest has been on this Astra.
Yeah, Tempest has been absolutely fragging out for Ole Miss, and this is exactly what they need. Looks like Ole Miss are going for a little bit of a change in setup here. Instead, it's this mid-aggression coming out, and USF, we're not expecting this at all whatsoever.
Not ready for it for sure. Gonna drop too early on here, and that's gonna cause USF to be flustered a little bit. They're gonna be trying to look for maybe an off-angle pick here, but it doesn't look like they're gonna find much.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to cover. Faked gets a little bit of a taste of a bullet there into his side. Gonna try and hop out here. I don't know. USF just seem to try and they're just kind of sticking around, see if Ole Miss overextend, but no, they actually just fall back at the perfect time as USF are coming in.
Now USF gonna get caught out here mid, and it's gonna be all of them falling at once, one by one, like London Bridge, and that is gonna be the 4th round in a row here for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss are their CT side, their defender side, excuse me. I'm a Counter-Strike player, excuse me, if I say CT or T all the time. But Ole Miss, I mean, they're having aggression on so many different parts of this map. They're mixing up their defensive strategies. They're not playing at any particular default, and it makes it so hard for the Bulls to read.
Yeah, but now USF, they do have, the ultimate economy starting to build in their favor. They have 4 as opposed to 2 on the side of Ole Miss. So this might be the round that allows them to finally generate something and to put a wall in front of the Land Sharks so that they can get back into this. But they have to figure out what's going on with this mid positioning. It feels like every time the plays have started to fall apart, it's because of this, and it's going to go down right here.
Yeah, look, here's Fakes looking for this entry. I think he's going to catch Eli off guard. No, Eli turns around. A little bit of a whiff with the stinger. You can't have that happen. That's so unfortunate from Faked. And now Ole Miss, they're actually just going to play so passive on this A site. They're doubled up in halls. And USF seem like they're caught between a rock and a hard place right now.
And that's where I think those early hero plays that went wrong for Faked are starting to bite a little bit because you had the showstopper available. If you're going to be super overextending into enemy side past mid, you might as well just pull it out and try to aim for the shot. But now you're playing 1v5 and it's over.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was a winnable round for USF as well. I know they had like limited weaponry there, but if you pull out that showstopper, get the opening kill, pick up that gun, I mean, that's definitely where the tides can change here. And all of Ole Miss are close to max economy at the moment. You can see like how stringing together multiple rounds can be such an economical advantage for a team.
Yeah, and this is such a crucial round here because USF is forced for the full buy, right? Despite the fact that they have all 5 ultimates at their disposal right now, they cannot generate any pressure in these gunfights, and they are not finding any advantages across map. So if they cannot find an opening pick here, or at least some way to separate this Ole Miss defensive stance, there's just no way for them to get back into this first half.
I totally agree. You need to break Ole Miss somewhere, some way.
Mm-hmm.
And USF just haven't been able to do that yet.
Now, it is also important to note, though, actually, we might be seeing some that the Prowler is just going to get shot out here by Sky. Eli going to back off. They do have the information that USF is looking for an A play, and here comes the Fade Ultimate.
It's going to catch Viper. I don't know if it caught Sky on the short position here. So Hades is holding it. Oh, Hades will get the opening pick on the Eli aggressing.
Here's the slew of kills coming through now.
And the Cypher Ultimate comes out. USF knows where all the remaining 3 players are. They're going to go ahead and stick this plant as World is maneuvering around the smoke.
Oh, the spray through the smoke, not going to be able to connect, but almost going to be able to catch out World here. Will they find it? There's one.
I must wait a moment.
There's one, but the Viper pit's still down, and World can still make a play happen. It's going to be tough. You have so many USF players, so many eyes to look out for. Crocs gets one in return.
Oh.
World is left it with all to do.
Oh, ring around the rosy.
Oh, my God. Viper on Viper action here. Jobby can't quite land the shot, but his teammate Crocs is there to finish it off.
And that was what USF was really looking for, right? The stringing together of ultimates that allow them to find the opening cracks in this Ole Miss defense that finally allowed them to sink their teeth in and get that plant, get the kills that they needed in sequence. Now they can finally feel good about that. They have the econ to work with. Of course, you know, you still have some deficits here, like Faked currently sitting at 0 units. But now you're actually playing on an even standing against Ole Miss.
Yeah. This is definitely what you wanted to see out of USF. I mean, the shows, they initiate with the Fatal, and then they come out with the Showstopper, and then, like, once they get that man advantage, they find out where the last remaining players are. Oh, my gosh. The spam through the smoke is so unlucky. Hades is going to get ult by the Deadlock. Oh, is he going to get broken out of? No, not quite. Actually, he does. He breaks out of it.
It's going to be Crocs that falls to Vega. Jobby going to be able to find that pick onto Vega, though, but Geb following it up with one on Davy Gravy. It's a 2v4 here for the side of Ole Miss.
Make that a 1v4 now. Jobby has so much work to do. Makes one go close to 2. He's on 2 HP. Eli's going to just run him down. And Ole Miss have gained 1/2 the rounds in this half.
Yeah, that was a really great response there from the side of Ole Miss. You know, things started to get a bit scary there. USF was just playing too far grouped up in a very defensive favored positioning there for Ole Miss to take advantage of. And now USF down 3 rounds here as we look to start wrapping up this first half of play. 3 rounds to go. And the buys are not great here.
Yeah, it's
for the
not
side
at
of
all,
USF.
man.
Some Bulldogs and Sheriffs is all they are working with.
Yeah, it looks like USF want to take this mid aggression again. Like you said, not much to work with in terms of the weapons department. Door is closed, so they're gonna have to make some noise and make their presence known that they are indeed in mid.
It is going to once again be Tempest watching that off angle that has been so successful for Ole Miss. They still have this 2-1-2 setup that has allowed them to really generate a lot of pressure for USF to work with. But now it looks like the push is coming into A from the side of Market. Can they advance onto site with all of this defensive utility being used?
Yeah, but you got World dancing around this pillar. He's going to find Faked. I don't know if they're going to expect the deadlock here, though. Hades is lurking, but Vega, again, out of B main, not expected to be in that particular position, gets a 3K to lock down that site, and she's called deadlock for a reason. Puts him dead to rights.
Absolutely, that was definitely a deadlock for sure for the side of Ole Miss. But now USF, I think at this point, all they have to do is hope that this game goes 9-3 because that just means it's going to be an automatic win for them. But
9-3 curse. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best, man.
But absolutely, Ole Miss has just been playing very strong and very smart, right? They've been reading these USF pushes very well. They know exactly how USF is going to want to be positioning, especially around this mid area. And it feels like even when USF has taken control of mid and they're deciding whether to go to A or B, Ole Miss has always been ready for the response.
Yeah, exactly. And Ole Miss do a great job of playing off of each other on the defender side as well. Geb gets the opening pick. Gebs gets 2 with the operator here. I don't know. they're spamming for Tempest. Tempest gets one through the smoke. Gets enough, pushes the smoke.
Goodness.
Oh, wow. USF have absolutely no answer. Here's Crocs. Oh, but, oh my God, Tempest, man. He's on a roll right now.
Yeah, Crocs only had 2 eyes before enemies to look at. Could not chameleon his way out of that one. But now it's going to be one more round, and it will be the timeout called here for the side of USF as they look to try to figure out what's going on here. Can they get back into it?
Yeah, and they definitely need this pause. This last round can be a real difference maker in the MR12 format here for USF. You really need this. I mean, going down 9-3, I know we said the 9-3 curse, but going down 9-3 is significantly harder than 8-4, all things considered. Let's be honest. And they definitely probably need some words from their coach, which a little bit, an outside voice is definitely probably what they need, and they need to calm their nerves a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's definitely shaky, you know, especially knowing that this is the battle of the unwins, right? There has not been a series win across both of these teams. Neither team wants to be the one that drops to the only undefeated team in this conference. So there's just so much pressure riding on this match in particular that there's just too many factors to really consider when you're playing, especially now that you're down and trying to crawl back out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, Ole Miss is just showing how hungry they are for this win. They want to make sure that they get on the board here, as, I mean, they are 0-3 right now. And I believe that even after this match, they still have 2 matches to play. So there's definitely potential for them to still make playoffs as well.
Playoff implications, always something to be playing for here in the NACE Star League, especially in Varsity Premier. But now USF looking to put a pause on that for the side of Ole Miss, trying to get their season back in line with so much to play for still for the rest of the year.
Yeah, USF Gold haven't had the best time in NACE, but they can make a difference here. If they get this A side down, that's for free. If they get these 2 A players that are so aggressive far forward out, but Geb is going to deny that notion.
The tour de force going to force USF back for a little bit. They're going to have to play around this Viper wall, but down it goes. And now they're going to try to see if they can find this pick potentially on Eli. Prowler going to come out for the info play, but now the rest of Ole Miss is making that defensive rotation over, and it's going to be a 4v4 or a 4v3 here, but USF is finding that first pick.
He gave Geb a little tour of his own medicine there with that kind of shot. Crux. And those are the kind of shots we want to see USF hitting. Now the Cypher ult is going to come out. Going to find the positions of all 4 Ole Miss players remaining, and the Viper's pit is out as well. It's going to be such a difficult retake for the Land Sharks.
Yeah, and I doubt that this is going to really throw them off, though, right? We can already see the pincer maneuver coming out. World able to find that pick onto Hades, but one goes in favor of USF as well. It's a 3v3.
Yeah, and look, I mean,
the judge.
The judge in this corner. The judge making work. Oh, can he get World?
Oh.
No, World wins the long-range fight. 1v2. Taps the spike. Jobby's there to clean things up. Gonna deny that. And USF, that timeout worked to fruition. They get one back.
Yeah, but USF really has to be careful, though, because it feels like they're only generating success when they have the ultimates to work with.
Yeah.
You can't always rely on being able to stack 2-3 ultimates in order to win one round when you're only getting your ultimates every 3 or 4 rounds, you know? And now that, sides are switching, of course, this is a very defensive-favored composition that Ole Miss has put together. So can they translate the success they've generated on the defensive side of the map into some offensive pressure?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they have 2 controllers and 2 sentinels. There's no sort of duelist on Ole Miss whatsoever.
The engage entirely relies on Eli to be able to get some flashes, get some blinds, maybe try to go for some info plays, because other than that, you're really not going to be finding much from the side of Ole Miss, whereas USF has some things to work with, right? You have the entry capability on Faked with this raise. You have the information plays coming out from Cypher, coming out from Fade. So there's a lot of utility that USF can use to get back into this. It's just a matter of will it play out that way, especially with their history on these pistol rounds.
Yeah. USF have changed comps from the previous times they've played Ascent, but this is still a very solid one that they have assembled together, and it can really make an impact on this defensive side.
Yeah, and it looks like early on here, it's going to be Ole Miss wanting to play for this A site. It is going to get super duper smoked off. Not going to be able to see anything past these omen clouds. But there's still some pressure generating here mid. It looks like Ole Miss will be able to find their way through.
The Dogs spotted out Vega in the corner, but Ole Miss have this mid control, and I don't know if USF are aware of this. Faked is playing this so passive, just willing to give them top mid.
The slow rotate over to A coming through, though.
This is actually such a great read from Ole Miss right now. A has been completely vacated. It looks like USF are just expecting Ole Miss to come mid, and they're waiting to fight for the top mid position.
The slow rotate back on over for Hades and for Jobby as they look to potentially make a play here. Trapwire will get popped, but Tempest finds Hades.
Wow. The trapwire not working in favor of Hades there. And oh my god, Vega, sloppy fight. Jobby manages to somehow win that out. Tempest holding down this site, takes down Fake. Tempest peeks. Oh, he's dinked down to like 1 HP. Tempest is on this site. Relying on his team to keep him alive.
Crocs.
Oh my god, Tempest.
11 health in a dream. Davy Gravy trying to pull it together here, but will get pushed.
Wow. And that was so winnable from Davy Gravy as well. Both of the Ole Miss players were like so low. They were literally one shot to the body, one shot to the foot, one shot to the toe. That could have killed them.
One sneeze on, and they're probably dead. It's like a 1783 Victorian child like facing a plague. That's how bad that it was for the side of Ole Miss in terms of health. But it is going to be another Ole Miss win there. That was a very crucial pistol round for USF to win, because now that you're already down these 5 rounds heading into the second half, now you have to work against the fact that you just don't have the econ to match.
Yeah, and USF are going to adjust accordingly. They are going to come out with only pistols. Some of them with a couple upgrades, like a Frenzy here and there. But the weaponry suggests that Ole Miss are in line to take their 10th and get double digits here.
And I don't really love what USF is doing in terms of map positioning here. They're sending 4 to B, which, yes, that is likely where Ole Miss is going to want to be pushing. But now you have to be so conscious of the lurks that are happening here, right? We see 3 that are just hanging around mid, going for the info play, separated literally by a wall. This is starting to feel like a High School Musical scene, right? Where they're just like, or no, not even High School, like Camp Rock. You know, it's what's that song?
I couldn't tell you, dude. I never watched that.
It's Wouldn't Change a Thing. Okay, but it is gonna be Ole Miss that comes out swinging.
Ole Miss are hearing the winds of change, though. I mean, all their strats, USF have no answer for. They are always in potential to mix it up here.
And an early 3 picks going in favor of the Landsharks. Going to be able to plant Spike on this A site, and it's only Hades and Jobby that can respond, but Geb finds one.
Wow, Jobby anticipates that flank there. He's going to get a gun for him. I don't know if he's going to go ahead and try and save this, or he's going to actually go play for exits here. Gets 1. Gets 2.
Oh.
Wow. A 3K for Jobby. I mean, USF lose that round, but that's some great damage, and you're forcing Ole Miss to either rebuy or take some limited guns here.
Yeah, but now we're going to be seeing that timeout once again coming through the final 3 rounds that Ole Miss needs to be able to take this game 1 of the series. You definitely don't want to fall early on, especially in this manner, right? You at least want it to be a closer series. You want to be able to use these last couple of rounds and generate some momentum. You cannot let your mental fall, because even if this round is a loss, there's still so much to play for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is definitely doable to come back as well. This is your first gun round on the defender side as well. And this is a setup. This is a side that is somewhat defender-sided as well. So there's definitely... This game is not over yet. You can't give up here. I mean, there's still plenty to play for, and the utility Cypher can really lock down a site if utilized correctly. And Hades is a very good Cypher that we all know and love.
Yeah, so honestly, I kind of want to see a bit of a 2-1-2 coming out from USF, similar to how we saw Ole Miss playing, right? I would like to see Hades playing that B site, maybe with some support coming from Jobby, perhaps, just so that they can lock down, get some recon on the entryways from B, but they also have that position to still play for mid control. I feel like the second that they drop mid control, there is just so little that they can really do in response to Ole Miss, because they can be anywhere on the map in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, Ole Miss, when they have that mid control, they can go market, or they can just like completely relinquish it and go do a really fast rotate to either site. I mean, it's such a crucial part of this map. Hades is gonna be on this B site though, and he's gonna be ready for this execute.
Okay, early on, like what I'm seeing, they do have the utility to find Astral Wall will come out though as a way to entry in.
Oh, Hades is almost sucked into that. Not quite in there though, but Ole Miss are in the site, and Hades trying to play around this pillar. Spike is down, and USF are on the retake.
But they do have man advantage 5v4 situation here. Hades going to try to find one. It's a 3 or a 2v5 now here. USF looking to make the quick advance onto site.
And the grab net comes out. Potentially,
there's one.
Delays that plant. Crocs is going to go ahead and finish this off. And Hades will get the defuse. USF put their first defensive sided round on the board.
And that you feel good about that one, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're able to really start to win these gunfights. You're able to cement yourselves in terms of just map control. You're not having to immediately retreat the second that you see utility come through around a corner. So now you feel like you have something to fight for. You have something to play for here. And now that you have this Viper Pit online as well, you can essentially eliminate half the map for Ole Miss to play on.
Yeah. I mean, the Viper Pit can really do wonders here. But I don't think they're really expecting to use it here. You see Jobby playing top mid, so probably not going to see it come out this round. But it's definitely something that you can use in the future, for sure. I mean, as far as whatever USF are planning here, it looks like they want to take some sort of B aggression. They have 3 defenders grouped up towards B main, but Ole Miss are completely walking up towards mid, and there's like no eyes towards there.
I said it before, but that mid control that Ole Miss takes is just so crucial for them to be successful here. And they're going to go for the full rotate coming through the CT spawn. Sorry, the defender spawn. You have me saying it now. And they might catch USF off balance here. Jobby not facing the right way.
Gravnet catches Hades. I don't know if Vega spots that. Jobby is going to go ahead and land that first kill. Jobby gets a second. And look at this.
Hades.
USF have locked down this A site.
The dynamic duo of Hades and Jobby really coming through here. Ole Miss, they thought they had the upper hand with the way that they were positioning, but it looks like it could just be a flawless round coming out for them, and there are eyes on Eli.
Oh, and they know where he is too. They saw him in defender spawn, and they're going to just go ahead and smoke Eli off, making sure that they cannot comet through and retrieve that spike. Nowhere for Eli to go at all.
Yeah, you don't want to really get any riskier than you have to here. Just going to go and clean it up for the flawless. You don't want to get any more sort of you know, resource generation going in favor of Ole Miss with that kill, especially when you're already in such an awkward spot here with the rest of this round. But now you have the econ to play with. Now if you drop around here, you still are in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see them building up that money. Meanwhile, Ole Miss going to go ahead and force into this, but 4 of them are going to be on light. 3 of them are going to be on light shields, excuse me. But pretty much they're all close to broke. Oh, I like this play into tiles here. Faked is looking for that opening pick that can keep that momentum going for the Bulls.
Yep, but the Snakebite going to be able to drop him down a little bit, forcing the backup. But now Tempest and 2 more of Ole Miss are going to be able to hold the line here and get that opening pick, which should be able to generate enough pressure for them to move on to wherever they want to go on the map.
Yeah, and that opening pick is so huge. And there's another one to increase that man advantage, but felt like USF were just hanging around mid for a little too long there. And Fake just couldn't get out in time.
Oh, Geb going to get spotted here.
Wow. Can't really be giving them those one-on-one fights. You're just giving USF an inroad back into this match. But the A site is completely free for Ole Miss, and they're going to get spiked down easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Should allow them to get whatever defensive setup they want here, but USF playing a 2-1 approach onto site. All of the attention right now from the side of Ole Miss looks to be towards the 2, but we do see the cross coming out. Jobby going to find 1, but there's going to be a killing spree on the other side of the map, and the lockdown ultimate.
Man, Deadlock's ult is just so broken. It's kind of broken. Like, when you have a situation like that where USF are kind of playing a split retake there, it's so hard to, like, counter that and break your teammate out of that situation, especially when you've got the attackers converging on you in that scenario. Tempest really dominating that leaderboard there, 23-9. Got another 2K this past round.
Yeah, has really been crucial to Ole Miss's early success here in this series. A lot of these team fights that have collapsed for the side of USF come from these early picks or these off-angle picks that Tempest was able to put together, especially in these mid-control battles. They've just been able to constantly win out on these 1v1s, these 2v1s, and it hasn't been great for USF in terms of recovery.
We see the Viper's Pit activated on the B, but Ole Miss are kind of just hanging around, see if they can get something for free around this Viper's Pit. Jobby's actually going to go with the spams. That's crazy. He just goes for the spams and manages to land Vega.
But now USF needs to be careful here because they're going to have to expect a bit of movement from the side of Ole Miss, especially when they once again have no pressure generated in mid. It feels like they're okay with that concession. They expect Ole Miss to just constantly have the mid priority. I don't really know if I agree with that, but it's going to be crucial to see how they respond here.
Yeah, I definitely have noticed that. Like, it feels like USF's defender setups, the setups that they've been practicing, are designed to, like, counter the mid presence, and they're just giving up mid, countering any other inroads that could potentially lead from that position. Faked is holding a bit of a tight angle here, and is going to get walled off. Is he going to spot anyone? Oh, I think he's just spotted the shoulder of the Viper there. I believe he's World.
Davy Gravy going to get chunked down here. 13 seconds on the clock for the side of Ole Miss to get this spike down, but they have entry onto A.
They got to hurry up, man.
But they're going to get it.
Yeah, they got it down. They're actually going to push this Viper wall, though. A combo of kills coming out from USF. Hayes is,
one more?
Hayes looking for this 3K here, rushing down. No, it's Hayes and Fakes both going to get 2Ks apiece.
Beautifully coordinated there from the side of USF. Going to split the defuse there across the two remaining living. But they were just able to really utilize their Viper utility so nicely that round. You were able to eliminate half the map like we were talking about earlier on in the half.
Yeah.
You couldn't – Ole Miss had no way that they were going to be able to get onto B, despite the fact that they had this priority built up in mid. So I guess in that sense, you know, when you do have half of the entryways on to be blocked off, then giving up mid pressure when you have the op facing it is okay to concede. I'll give them that. But then they were just able to clean up this A site so perfectly. It was like the graveyard shift of a Walmart, and you have like the power washing simulator guys working it, and they just did such a nice job to get themselves back into this.
Yeah, Jobby's wall, we see it deployed again here, but it splits the map so well. Jobby is just absolutely insane with these spams today.
Going to be able to find another one, and that's going to take away the offensive Viper Pit that Ole Miss could have been playing with here, could have gotten them to series point. Two more going to get spotted on this camera by Hades.
Oh, but the spams are coming through. I mean, the intuition from both of these teams is absolutely crazy. Spike is going to go down onto A, but USF have man advantage. They're ready to take this A site back under their control.
Yeah, this retake going to be very important for USF to slow play out. Here comes the Fade ultimate.
It's going to catch two of them. They know where two players are on site. Vega's doomed.
Oh, but Eli finds one as well, but
what a shot from Fake onto the Halls player. Comes out with the showstopper. Backtracks. Gets it to Eli. No, Croc's actually going to finish this off. They have to take care of Tempest, though, in a 1v2.
It's a 1v1. Gonna go for the fake. Fake doesn't fake. Fake is faking. Fake falls. Whoa. And it's a 4K for Tempest.
Tempest has been absolutely lights out. On pace for the 30 bomb right now. I mean, Tempest, excuse me. Tempest was just sitting A main, and he just let USF take a site. And as they were distracted, he just comes from behind. Comes up with the ultimate backstab of all time that USF not expecting at all.
Yeah, that false confidence really is so dangerous to play with. And when you know how to gaslight your opponents into thinking that they're safe and then just taking the knife right out of their back. It's just so difficult to play against for the side of USF, and now they have to string together 5 straight to be able to keep this one alive, but Hayes starts them off in the right way.
Oh, the wires are catching everybody.
Hayes.
Look at Hayes' setups coming in. Oh, he's caught by the grab net, though. Not going to be punished, and he's got support.
Oh, another piece of Deadlock utility going to come out, but here's the eye popped for Fade. Here's the Prowler. They know, but Tempest, goes down.
Oh, man. Now without Tempest in the round, it's going to be kind of difficult for Ole Miss to retake this B-bomb site, and they're going to be locked in by Faked in just a couple minutes.
Faked on the slow rotate over while the rest of USF puts in some suppressing fire into B main. But Faked is just going to watch the off angle for the retreat.
Yeah, Faked is watching for this kind of mid-rotate here. They could rotate through spawn, but I think Faked is probably in the noise range to hear that as well. So, I mean, Ole Miss have absolutely nowhere to go right now.
Pinned down in their own corner, Spike still in their hands. They have to make a play here in the next 10 seconds or else they will drop this round. Maybe that's what they're trying to play for. Maybe they realize that this is going to be a loss. Actually, they make the move, find one, and fall.
Yeah, great crossfire out of Crocs and Jobby there. They're making sure that, you know, they can't, no potential for multi-frags at all. And there we go. USF are still in this, man.
Yeah, they're definitely still fighting here. The series or the game is not over just yet. And like we were saying before, even if this game 1 is a loss, this is a much better loss in terms of mentality. Now you realize, okay, the land sharks can bleed. There's blood in the water. There's a chance that even if they come out of this game 1 ahead, we can still pull this off. That's the mentality that USF is going to be running for the rest of this game and heading into game 2 as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a big confidence booster, knowing that you can still hang with the other team.
Ooh.
Faked, opening pick with the operator here.
Can he find 2? It's going to be Geb with the jiggle. Finds 2!
There we go. Perhaps he's looking for more. He's still hungry. Trying to get a bite of the action, a larger portion for his size.
Yo, check this guy's PC. He has his crosshair on like through the wall. Hello?
Yeah, he's walling. He's walling.
He's walls. Walls.
Oh, why did he switch angles? Look at this. Oh,
okay. He definitely saw that. There, he saw the light. He had just seen the light.
Yeah, he definitely sees Geb
goodness.
continue to jump spot. It's kind of a bit nervy here. I don't know if Geb has spotted Faked. I think he has as well. So they have seen each other.
They just keep rotating back on the exact
There's
time
nowhere
periods.
to go.
But
The
here's
judge.
Davy Gravy.
Oh, Tade's actually coming through the mid smoke, punishing both mid players. Faked, misses the shot. Crocs is there behind him to clean it up, and it's a flawless for USF.
That just got so messy there for Ole Miss. It felt like they were playing desperate at that point. It's almost as if they had to make a play there, despite the fact that they're the ones that are up, not USF. They were the ones playing as if they were down 3 rounds on match point.
Yeah, it was so awkward, man. Like, they were just kind of stuck in mid and just kind of finagling there. But with no real end purpose in mind, it's not going to work out for you.
But now we're looking like at a full buy for both of these teams. We do see the judge once again online here for Eli.
Oh, it's just going to be a straight-up A-rush from Ole Miss. All 5 players are in A-main and ready to take this bomb site.
Can USF respond? Here's the Viper Pit used offensively. So much to care and think of. Grabnet going to catch out Hades.
And they're just kind of playing this really slow. Look at the spams coming in from USF. Hades finds the opener. Vega's also so low. But look at Ole Miss. They're going to try and fight for this A-short position. Tempest catches out Davy Gravy on the rotate.
Now, Faked is going to be in a bit of a battle here with Eli. Eli does have this judge, but in the rest of the smoke through the thick of it, it's a trade here for Jobby and Tempest. Oh, no.
My God, not the judge, not like that. And Crocs can't get his teammate out of the ult. He's in a 1v2, and he has to go through the Viper's pit to get both of them.
Teleport going to be used to hop around the corner, try to clear the site. Eli has the judge and is ready. It's going to get sprayed but misses. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, the sprays didn't connect exactly like Crocs wanted. If he just did a little bit longer, then could have had the potential to bring his team back into there, but unfortunately, USF is going to fall 13-9 on Sunset.
Was a very tight game. We saw USF fall to quite a big deficit early on. They really managed to climb their way back and generate some pressure going into this game too. But they're just going to have to tighten things up on their map control and taking advantage of the positions that Ole Miss is giving them in this next game.
Yeah, but Tempest was the clear and obvious MVP of this match. I've never seen a controller frag out like that, man. Like, over 30 kills
Crazy.
On Astra is actually insane. And USF had absolutely no answer for that.
Definitely not. They're going to hope to find an answer in this next game for sure.
And we are back. Game 2 of USF versus Ole Miss, and this time we're starting things off on Lotus.
Yeah, definitely. I believe this is what USF's map pick was in response to that first game. But now this is where they start to come into their comfort zone a little bit. I feel like Sunset, still from a competitive sense, still trying to get a grip on what that map has to offer. But now we're coming into a map that has been a very successful point for USF in seasons past.
Yeah, and USF have always been a very strong Lotus team, no matter what the players are. I mean, it's a very dynamic map with 3 different sites, so it really opens you to the possibilities on the type of attacking setups you can have.
Yeah, early on here, it looked like USF just trying to stretch the map out a little bit, trying to catch Ole Miss's defense on its toes, but now it looks like they're going to go for the commit to A site.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and take this tree position here, opening the door. World is kind of staying back on site, and I think that Ole Miss is content on giving this up, and they're going to go ahead and play for retake and hold for overextensions here.
Now, they do have this Killjoy that's going to be able to start roaming up from that B entry, but Geb finds 3.
Geb dropping down and landing 3 heads. Crocs, what a nice flick there, my boy.
Oh,
but Geb gets the ace. Wow, that's a way to start things off if you're Ole Miss.
Like the hardware store, dropping the hammer here on USF early on with that ace for Geb. That's going to be the momentum starter here for Ole Miss as they look to wrap this series up 2-0 with a really strong start.
And that's a way to make your mark. And this is NACE Varsity after all. You're going against the best of the best. Geb just showing why he's the star. Why he's one of the stars that Ole Miss has. In a roster full of talent, man. USF going to have to equal this.
You know, and it's really interesting to see the change in mentality here for Ole Miss and their agent select. They have Tempest on this Sage now, which, yes, we saw him on the Astra previously with this controller, but now you're playing a much more passive healer. How will that change how he takes and approaches these gunfights that have been so successful for him? Or is he going to allow for the rest of his team to shine? Is someone else going to be taking control of that top frag position? We're going to have to see.
Perhaps, like, Ole Miss has a thing, or like somewhere set up where, yeah, Tempest could be a Battle Sage, because with that kind of aim, definitely a possibility. But maybe Ole Miss have a kind of thing where just the control is just absolutely insane, because, you know, Geb is on the Omen this time, and just popped off with the ace. So that could be the trend that we are going to see throughout this game. But I don't think we're going to see much of a change in style, to be honest, from Tempest. Like, I mean, I know it's Sage. You typically want to play passive, but Tempest wasn't really the biggest initiator for his team.
Gonna attack B side.
Speaking of initiators, though, the Sentinel Hades is going to find the opening pick here.
Yeah, that's going to allow them to generate some pressure, but we do see Ole Miss quickly responding, sending 3 to the entryways of this B side, but Davey Gravy finds Eli.
USF are just making this work with classics now. They're holding for this position, walled off to perfection, but it doesn't matter. 2 kills come out to even the numbers.
Yeah, Tempest and Geb going to be able to coordinate that swing so nicely. Vega's going to find 2, and all that USF had will fall apart.
And Vega and USF thought they had that C-Link position there, but Vega comes up with a really late rotate, kind of just screws around with the timing, the internal clock that USF has. Unexpected play, and that's going to secure the round. And what was initially so scary, Classics bringing you down to a 3-on-5.
Now, once again, the force by coming through for the side of USF. They need a response here. or things can start to get scary. You just had a very successful attempt at a comeback in this game one. You do not want to be put in the same situation here, especially on your map choice.
Yeah, definitely. And being down by the first pistol is not the most ideal way to start, but I mean, it's only 2 rounds. Definitely can bring this back for sure. Eli's playing so aggressive here as a Killjoy. Turret's going to get shot down.
The jiggle
Jump
over
spot.
mound.
It's a bit of a risky jump spot as Eli does take a little bit of chip damage, but gets healed right back by his teammate Tempest.
Now, it looks like USF wanting to slow play this C site. Very overextended on the opposite side is Geb. So they do have the information that there is no positioning battle happening on A or B. That's going to allow for the quick rotate.
Wow, and USF is just going to go ahead and bust in. Hades once again with the opening pick. Looking for the second no. Trade it out, though. Davy Gravy is there. All 3 Ole Miss players in CT. The spike is going to go down soon, though.
And that's going to be a lot of utility coming through, but Geb is going to find one on to Faked, evening it out to a 3v3 situation. Can USF hold the line as Ole Miss entries onto site here?
Man, they're just looking for something.
Nice.
Jobby with a really nice shot. The situational awareness to know that one's going to be Waterfall World with the Sheriff is going to make some work happen. The positions are revealed. Tempest gets one. Davies left in a 1v2. We've seen him clutch up before in NACE. World is going to get full heals from his Sage. So Davy Gravy is going to have to deal with 2 nearly full health players. 15 seconds. Spike isn't even down yet.
Yeah, you're not even playing against the element of time, but it's in their favor. World is able to clean it up.
And USF just not getting that spike down is what really cost them there. I mean, I know that perhaps they were pushed out by utility, but I think they really needed to take those fights. Instead, they just kind of like backed out towards C main. They were a little bit scared and hesitant.
Yeah, they're creating these early round advantages, but they're really not able to do much with them. They have these 2-3-man advantages over Ole Miss, but then they just start to play like antsy, and they just fall apart. And now we're going to be seeing Geb with this Odin trying to just play uber aggressive, especially on this A push-up, as it is going to be USF who potentially pokes their way through on this 3-site setup.
Yeah, like you said, USF are poking and prodding, looking for anything that they can take. Spots the shoulder of Tempest. Can't quite get the kill. A little bit of chip damage going on around. Eli's just gunning it down. Look at Eli go. Davy's going to get the trade, but Tempest is there to follow. 2 for 1. Ole Miss are very happy with that.
Yeah, and now that wall is going to cut off the rest of the entry onto the C site that USF wants to play. Going to be able to get some chip onto Tempest on the corner peak, but will not be able to secure it. They did drop Spike over here on this B side, closer towards their spawn, but they need to start making some sort of an aggressive push here, or they're just going to fall victim to the time game.
Yeah, and there's only one defender here on this A bomb site. It's just Geb, who we've seen have clutches, have so many multi-frags before.
This Odin, he hasn't let it rip yet, and now he does, and he finds 2!
Wow. Put them through the paper shredder, man. Geb is absolutely tearing them apart. A-side is a no-no. And Crux
has to force the plant.
Yeah, he's sticking this. Tempest
isn't
swinging out. Look at this.
Whoa!
Whoa. A little bit of a whip shot coming out. But gonna finish it off with the ghost. What an awkward fight that was. But Geb, man, they just do not have an answer. They just cannot flush him out.
And there has just been so many opportunities for USF to really start to get into this, but they cannot capitalize on their positional advantages, their map control wins that they do find. They're just allowing for Ole Miss to make the quick rotate over, and suddenly the game flips on its side. There's just no way for USF to really get into it yet.
Yeah, and it's got to be so demoralizing to get absolutely shredded by an Odin, man. Like,
especially round 3.
Especially round 4, when you already are bringing out the big guns, the most expensive gun, one of the most expensive guns in the game. Like, just like that, man. Man, that's regarded as a little bit of a troll weapon, but it kind of feels really good when you're getting kills with it. And really bad when you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, Davy Gravy already going to get chunked down quite low as the utility with this Sage Wall and Killjoy turret is going to come through here. They do also have the operator at their disposal to keep the zoning back for USF's push onto C. Will they turn their attention elsewhere? We do see some Killjoy utility going down B.
Yeah, putting down swamp grenades to clear out that close corner, or thinking that someone's in that smoke.
Spray going to come through, chip down Hades just a tad. Is going to have to maybe use this door to push back on to C. Is actually just going to camp the corner while the rest of USF looks to wrap back around. Here's the Prowler on to C.
Oh, look at this Fatal. It's going to catch out the Killjoy on the site. Tempest is here around this corner, though, and the Killjoy utility has absolutely kept them out. Wow, faked. What a perfect spam through the smoke. He knows his angles. Jobby gets another one. Jobby looking for Fake's looking for another one. Vega's there in Waterfall to trade. Spike going down. Geb gets one.
They have to be careful of this Odin. They have already been in this position before where they feel like they have man advantage. At least this time the spike is planted, so all the pressure is on Ole Miss to make this happen. Geb is going to swap the gun out now, though. Is going to throw the smoke, catch two with a teleport now to switch positionings up. Vega goes down.
Look at Crocs. He's just holding that angle nice and tight. And Hades finds Geb jumping up. Team Ace coming out from USF. I got a little worried there because all the USF players were just bunched up in the same place, and perhaps it would be a little easy to clear them out. But I mean, they're just holding down. They're holding down. They're making use of their good aim.
Yeah, they were really ready for that teleport coming out from Geb. It feels like as soon as it went down, despite the fact that they were deafened from the smokes and blinds coming through, they were able to react very quickly, especially after Vega pushed first. They didn't have the information on where Geb was just yet, but Hades able to finally clean that one up, and now that is what USF needed to finally get back into this. They were playing like at an okay rate, but they had not been able to really put a nail in terms of generating game-changing pressure round to round against Ole Miss. It feels like the time has always been ticking against USF to make the play, to make the time work, to make the adjustment. But once they were able to get that spike planted, things changed, and now they're able to play a little bit more confidently.
Yeah, you can see the confidence shining too. Oh, the showstopper's actually going to get canceled out by the KO ult. But Javi, nice pick into the door. Could USF be rotating? It looks like they want to. They're just going to go ahead and tuck and dip, leaving Jobby behind.
Yeah, Cinnamon Swirl out of there, draw all the attention to A, and then roll themselves on out to C. It's like a Cinnabon coming straight from that Taco Bell menu. Try the new Dulce de Leche. Cinnabon's coming out in 2024. Great event here coming forward from the side of USF.
Taco Bell menus suck, though. Like, all their food has like the same 4 ingredients. It's like bean, cheese, beef, and rice.
Okay. What's the problem?
It's disgusting. That's what it is, dude.
I think you need to reevaluate your priorities. Spike is going to get picked up here once again by Faked. Vega will find that opening pick, but a double.
Look at that. Jobby just coming in from the backstab, and it's really putting the pressure on Ole Miss, but they're actually going to charge forward. Spike can't go down.
Wallbang.
Look at this. All World has to do is stay alive.
Oh!
There we go. Jobby's there to rush in and save the day.
The buzzer beater for USF as they're able to clinch that one. And like we talked about in Game 1, it's a stringing of these rounds together that really starts to get the game going. It's all through thus far, it's been Ole Miss knocking on the door, but USF finally answers the phone.
Yeah, first round's always the hardest, man. And now that they got it, looks like they're building a little bit of momentum, and they're saying to themselves, 4 is all they get.
And now, as they look to expand their control here, start to chip away further at this lead, it is going to be a bit of chunk damage coming out. Almost a kill down onto the enemy KO on the side of Ole Miss, but Crocs finds that opening pick onto Geb.
Man, Eli just trying to find something in response, but to no avail. And USF are at a huge advantage here. They're going to go ahead and run it down C, not where the defenders are at all. They're actually going to go ahead and push this B hall kind of at a perfect time. Perhaps they can catch something out on this flank, but for now, it's a free C site.
You know, and it's starting to get a little precarious here, I think, for USF. It feels like they play the exact same way each and every single one of these rounds. They spread the map out. They go for the early pick, and then they draw the focus away from wherever they're trying to go, which is always C. They're always playing for this C site camping, but one of these times you got to imagine Ole Miss is going to be able to sniff it out. This is just not one of those times.
It's not at all whatsoever. They can't find not even one in that round. But yeah, all these fakes, like faking A, going C, showing presence at B. I mean, USF have a simple default in mind, and they manage to take advantage of it. They rotate off early information, and that's how you play Valorant. That's how you play first-person shooters in general. You try and get any sort of early information, then you formulate a plan off of that.
Absolutely, and now we might be seeing a switch up in the plan, perhaps. But however, we do know that they are just going to try to convolge all of the defensive pressure onto one area, throwing out a bunch of utility towards this A site, maybe trying to draw attention away from their desired spot in that C site. Geb, once again, with this Odin, is going to be playing around the swing door, watching for that entry into tree.
Yeah, and this is going to be a little tough for Ole Miss to handle, I think. I mean, the Ole Miss is so low. Yeah, the attacker, the Killjoy ult is going to go down, locked down, secured. Perhaps, I think it's actually towards the B side, so perhaps a little bit faking, draws out World.
It looks like a bit of a fake, actually. They use that to draw attention towards B, when in reality, they're just going to go play for the picks on A during the crossover. They find 2 now. Make it 3.
Look at that. Man, USF just seemed to be all over the map, and Ole Miss have nowhere to go. There's nowhere to escape. USF, I mean, the Bulls are everywhere. They're watching everything.
Eyes in the back of their heads. Head on a swivel, indeed. Davy Gravy now going to be able to get that plant down. And with this 5v2 battle that they've created for themselves, it looks like this might be the round that allows them to finally tie it up for the first time in this series.
Yeah. And it's looking like 4 is all they get is a real possibility right now. Vega is going to go ahead and tuck towards Mound. Nothing is going Ole Miss's way at all right now in these last 4 rounds. Vega's actually going to go ahead and just save this gun, I think.
Yeah, the retreat coming out here. USF going to hold on to this site control for just a few more moments before they go for the chase. But they got to be careful here. They don't want to get caught on the exit.
The eye just doesn't catch Vega out. They're going to check behind these boxes. Hayes is there to clean things up. USF absolutely, once again, another flawless.
And that's how USF wants these rounds to be going. They're trying to rely on the illusion that they're playing one side, trying to go for another, trying to play for these picks, these crossovers, these sight lines that Ole Miss is not ready for. And that's what's really been allowing them to generate a little bit more momentum in this game than they were able to in the first one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think this is the longest string of rounds that we've seen USF put together today. And I just want to see them keep going up, man. Like, keep the momentum going. Definitely need it going into the third map as well. Which, do you know what it is? Or
it'll be Ascent.
It will be Ascent. Okay. USF is a pretty good Ascent team as well. So I don't know much about Ole Miss, but that's going to be a map to watch for sure.
Well, we got to get through this game too first. As of right now, things are looking good for the Bulls. You know, the econ for the side of Ole Miss not looking great. The Land Sharks are going to need a Lone Shark after this to be able to get through the rest of the half. But it's just so close for these two teams. They've been able to do a lot in terms of recognizing each other's style of play. They haven't really been able to generate a response when one team gets going, though. So who will be able to drive a stake in that first offensive push?
I think USF is looking for the stakes right now. They're playing for all the stakes.
And an actual very aggressive positioning coming out on defense here for the side of Ole Miss. They're going to be sending 3 far up A to be able to push back the offensive stand here that USF is trying to put together.
Puts the swamp down. to clear out the close corner here. No one's there. And now USF once again going towards the C side. It's been working for them so well these past couple of rounds. Oh, they're actually going to double back. I don't know if they're expecting Tempest and Geb to be pushed up so far, though.
But I don't think Tempest and Geb are either. That's going to be a
prepared
slay.
Either. Wow. I guess USF was. I mean, they had their guns out and just caught a no man's land where Tempest and Geb. No sort of way to counter. Fate going to come in with the satchels. Actually, they're all just going to funnel through tree here.
Yeah, World did get spotted there. They have to be careful of Eli on this flank through their spawn. Hades. Oh, it's just a slaying of kills coming out. 2v2 now for both teams.
What happened, man? I mean, it was a 5v3. All of a sudden, kills come out in favor of Ole Miss. But Hades is going to say something different about that. Here comes the defender lockdown. USF is going to have to retreat.
And all things rely on Eli here. Going to come through tree. It looks like this Killjoy will find one on Davy Gravy. But can Eli capitalize?
No, Davy Gravy's going to come out of this any moment. He does. But he puts out the eye. Hades in a 1v1. Ooh. He's there to clutch things up. Hades does not miss at all when he's put in those types of situations.
Absolutely. The better Killjoy comes out on top here. And now USF, with their 5th round in a row, going to be able to start really bringing it to the side of Ole Miss on their map choice.
And looking at this buy here, Geb has an outlaw. We've seen him mix up the weaponry a lot during this map. Like Odin's. I think I saw a Stinger at one time, but like now we're coming out with the outlaw, a relatively new gun in the game that does like 140 to the body on one shot. So unless if you have full armor, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen that weapon before, but now that you mentioned it's new, it makes sense here. But Ole Miss going to be trying to play for these cheeky crate shots. They don't want any lurkers for the side of USF into these tight corridors that Ole Miss really can't respond to if they are present. But we do see the attention once more heading back towards this C site.
USF, I think they're just going to bust through this. Going to go ahead. Nade thrown. Satchels in.
Oh, onto crate.
Wow.
Beautiful positioning here coming out from Faked.
Faked has gotten a lot better with his satchels. I've seen the matches over the past couple of weeks, and he's been working on that. And yeah, he's been putting a lot of effort into his satchels because that's a really hard technique to master. He's looking for this knife kill. He wants it. He's got the double on the backstab. Hades looking for more though.
And that was just such a well-executed flank coming out there from Hades. Was looking for the further ahead target to be able to really secure those 2 kills, preventing any counterplay from the side of Ole Miss. And now they just have to respect this. We might see a peek here coming out from Geb. Oh, but it's Crocs who pushes in.
I feel like Crocs had a feeling he was there and he thought he could get the kill, but it wasn't meant to be.
Oh.
Geb, oh my gosh, now all of a sudden it's a 1v1. Tempest is sticking this spike. Tempest needs to get this kill. Does he have time? No, does not. Jobby just wastes just enough time for Tempest to get off that spike. USF 6 rounds in a row now.
And what a close round that was. It felt almost kind of doomed there for USF despite how large of an advantage they built. The 2v5 immediately became a 2v1, and things got kind of scary there for a moment, but it was Jobby who's able to pull through there, waste just enough time like you said, and now they're going to be able to continue putting Ole Miss in a very difficult position. 2 rounds left in this half, and USF is looking to send this one to a game 3.
I mean, USF just cannot stop. They're like a 300-pound push cart going down a hill right now. There's absolutely no way to deny this team.
Oh, they didn't want to check the corners.
Bang! There comes the showstopper. Faked 2 entries to open up this site.
And now with full control of C-Site once more, Ole Miss just not able to generate a response for this. They know that USF wants to play for it, but now they have to play reactive as 3 are looking to entry their way in. It's going to be Tempest, and it is going to be Vega who are playing through this waterfall side.
And the Prowler does catch someone waterfall, so they know someone's there. Faked, gets his third. Is he on for more? Now it's a 1v3. Vega stands in the snake bite and goes down. Wow. I mean, it just feels impossible for Ole Miss to retake the C site right now. It's USF's are just absolutely so dominant right now.
And we're going to start to see a bit of a reverse from game one, right? You know, it was 8-4 heading into the half for the side of Ole Miss. Now USF looking to take that into their hands. And they've been playing much more poignant today in this game than they were to start the series. They've been much more decisive. They aren't letting Ole Miss really have whatever they want in terms of early round map possession. And that has just been the determining factor for allowing USF to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss really needs to kind of switch things up on C, and we see that they're doing that right now. They have really heavy mound control, but it doesn't really matter. I think USF has their minds on A and A site only at the moment.
Yeah, once you've already drawn so much attention on the left side of the map, it feels like the last round of your attack side going to A just might as well be the play. You have free entry here, essentially. Only one really watching, now maybe two. Tempest, though, has been consistently the best shooter on the side of Ole Miss, but the plant is coming through for Crocs.
Yeah, and it's a 5v5 retake here. So much to die for right now. So much blood action about to happen. Look at Hayes under the ropes. Gets traded out.
2 for 2.
Geb gets the 2 of his own. Eli with 1 on the flank, 2 on the flank. And wow, Ole Miss, that was the round they needed to kind of just put this USF momentum to a halt. That was such a crucial flank. Great trades from Geb. And then Eli just coming out of nowhere to steal that round away.
Once again, it's going to come to this pistol round that would really dictate the pacing for the rest of this half. If USF can manage to overcome their early struggles and finally get a pistol round out once more like we saw in game one, we might be able to see them claw their way to the finish line for this game too. But if they drop it and start to drop a series of rounds like the beginning once again, it could get dicey here for the Bulls as Ole Miss looks to finish this one with a 2-0.
Yeah, Ole Miss definitely want to end things here and end it now. Like, definitely don't want to stick around for a third map because it's getting kind of late, man. I want to go to sleep, but I'm sure they do as well. But it's can't get off that easy, man. USF is just a really good team as they've proven so far on Lotus.
Heavy attention going towards C here for Ole Miss on the attack side. Feels like that's the preferred site for both of these teams. It is Hayes who has the Killjoy setup already mounted here. So, you know, it's going to be hard for that clear entryway, but there is going to just be a bit of a stalling here with Eli once again flanking and lurking on the other side of the map.
The movable door towards the B link is actually opened, but Ole Miss is not going to go push through that. So they're just sticking around C Mound here. It seems like they have their heart's intent on this site, on this bomb site to attack. But there's 2 here. 1 high, 1 low, watching the same angle. It's going to be so hard to clear this without a flash.
Here we go. Entries coming through. The wall being used offensively from Tempest, but it is going to catch Geb in a very unfortunate situation, but it is a 1-for-1 there.
Yeah, good 1-for-1 for Hayes. And he's a bit lucky to kind of duck out of that alive as well. But Spike's going to go down for free here.
Yeah, now it's the retake online here for USF. 4v4 like you mentioned. But the rotates are still coming out. And it looks like USF is going to want to answer this primarily from the CT spawn. Sending 2 to Waterfall. It's a 2-2 pincer here. Utility going to be the defining factor. But Eli.
Oh my god, Eli? No way. Eli just lands 2 headshots with the classic. Vega's there to clean it up.
As soon as there was a crack in the line for USF's counter push, there was just nothing they could do to respond to Ole Miss. And now the nightmare situation might start to come into fruition here for USF. The force buys after that round 1 are coming through here for Ole Miss. They need to be so careful.
Yeah, and what went right for Ole Miss there? I mean, They didn't really seem to want to take control of Waterfall or CT, but they had such a great post-plant setup. They were so aggressive. They pushed the angle that would look out onto the Waterfall players that was coming from site. Like, and USF, they just made it so difficult to get that crossfire, and just Eli hitting those shots as well, man. Like, he was kind of stuck with that Sage wall being put in place. That kind of isolated him out, but he really needed those shots, and he came to deliver.
Oh, the tree door is now open. We might start to see an engage coming out here from the side of Ole Miss. Davey Gravy going to get spotted here. Gets the right click onto Eli, but will fall in return.
Yeah, headshots traded out. But Ole Miss are still coming here. Faked with his, caught with his knife out. Didn't realize that Ole Miss were already on the bomb site.
And now that's going to be a plant coming through with Tempest finding another one. It is a 4v2 here for Ole Miss to start to put this one away. They are generating the pressure that they need, and they're about to put USF in a very awkward financial position. Never mind. And now it is a 4v1 here. Hades.
Oh, looking for the no-scope, but way off the head that he needed to click on. Geb is there to finish things off. Now it's all evens again, man. It's basically back to 0-0, but we got less rounds to play for.
Yeah, you really don't want this to even out in this way heading into the second half, especially when you were able to put together 7 rounds straight in that first half on attack, right? Yeah. Now you have a little bit more defensive utility to work with. You have the KJ setups. You have the Viper utility that you can use. But when you're already playing from behind from a financial standpoint, losing this round very well might just be what determines this game. Yeah,
this could be for all the marbles here. This has the feeling, has the inkling of a round packed full of this is a momentum-changing round right now, man. This is really this could be the decision maker. I mean, there's still plenty to play for, obviously, but this can help a team out tremendously, getting up to that 8-0 lead and breaking the other team's economy. 8-7 lead.
And especially, I think this round more than anything is so crucial for USF. Losing this means you're starting from scratch in the bank. Yeah. You've got no weapons next round. How can you respond to that with 5 rounds remaining here for Ole Miss if they are to pick this one up? Looking for the early entry on to see are going to be able to find the first 2 picks of the map.
And that's not the response that USF needed at all. You really need to at least get a couple of trades, or at least get one member back on that C site. But Ole Miss are just taking that completely flawlessly, and we're seeing Geb aggress into CT. Aggress into the defender's spawn. I don't think Faked is expecting this angle at all. The blinds come through. Here comes Geb. Actually, no, Davey Gravy's going to win out that fight. All of USF is grouped together to take down that one player that's aggressing.
Yeah, Spike still planted here for Ole Miss, and it is ticking away. They are prepared for this. Vega holding this sideline very carefully, but it will be the Omen smoke, but World finds one.
Yeah, what an off angle by World to get that kill. Vega's playing in the smoke. Crocs jumps in, not knowing what fate awaited him there. Davey Gravy has to make the play of his life. He gets one. Does he know where the second is? Flicks over, but Tempest lands the shots first.
Doing a little bit of a 360 there accidentally to try to find the remaining member. The jump onto Crate was so big brain there, but was not enough to secure it. And now USF playing off the backs of Sheriffs and Stingers, hoping that they can find a way to cut into the momentum that Ole Miss has once again built.
And yet, Ole Miss, man, they're just absolutely... I mean, they're just taking these sites without really much resistance, right? Like, I'd like to see some aggression like this, man. Look at this. I like this coordinated aggression. Oh, Javi's just so unlucky to not get off there scot-free. I thought he was good to go, but did really big damage on the Omen as well. So it's a great way to start off the round.
Yeah, but 2 early picks here for Ole Miss do kind of spell that they will be able to do whatever they want across the map. But Hades with a great response, and Crocs following it up. It's a 3-2 with Spike down A site. No one from Ole Miss in position to recover just yet.
Just a calculated aggression from USF in this round has is what's giving them this one-man advantage. I mean, it really caught Ole Miss off guard. It was so different from the previous defensive setups that they've had.
Cypher ultimate comes through,
yeah,
though.
The uplink is here, and now they know where the USF players are. Hayes is going to grab a gun for himself. Gives USF a little bit of a better fighting chance to get this round win, get their first defensive setup here.
Ooh, the chunk damage coming through onto Hayes. There's the push through, and it will be USF who comes out on top.
Ole Miss just kind of fell apart there. It looked like they were just taking one-on-one fights, and that's not the way you need to play here. They were just so separated across the map. Once we saw those two players go down on A, we saw one player lurking outside B and another player lurking outside C. I mean, if you're getting spiked down, you have spikes so deep in A site, but the rest of your team isn't there with you to support you.
Absolutely not. But now, as Ole Miss tries to get back into it, tries to deny USF from following it up, because both of these teams have been very streaky. All the round wins come in bunches. They are not isolated. So if USF manages to put together 1, 2, 3 more rounds here, this series might look a lot different. And there's a 2-for-1 early on here.
Oh, it looked like Davy Gravy wanted to tuck, but his teammate Crocs didn't get the memo.
Revive.
The res comes through. It doesn't even matter, though. Davy Gravy's going to even out the numbers once again.
But it's so low. It's a 3v3, but Davy Gravy might just fall at any moment on a coordinated push coming from the side of Ole Miss as they look to continuously stack this C site. We do see Hayes maybe starting to make the rotate over on this flank and will get met by this enemy KO.
Yeah, I really like this play from Hayes. Oh, he's actually going to go hunt fall off, which is actually kind of smart. You don't want to re-peek into that because it's a pretty risky fight to kind of give up A like that. So it's going to go ahead and chill out. B site's completely open. Omen has ulted onto it. Going to get this spike down any moment now.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to be playing for B instead of their typical C play. Fade Ultimate will get dropped here and should pick up at least 2.
Yeah, it picks up the Cypher and Halls. I believe the Omen and B main as well. The flash comes out. USF are going to have to retreat. Hayes knows where this Cypher is. He wants this kill. I don't know if Vega's going to give it to him, though.
Yes, he will.
Wow, 3v2 retake. I think they know that both players are B main right now.
Oh, but Geb finds that first pick onto Hayes here. It's a 2v2 with Davy Gravy still so low. Geb finds another. It's a 1v1. Jobby finds it. Oh!
Jobby coming in clutch when USF needed him most. He's putting the cape on, strapping his boots, lacing them together. No! Wow, the time on the spike. 0.21 seconds off. I thought Jobby had that secured.
That was the hero play that USF needed and unfortunately breaks the streak. I just mentioned how wins come in bunches, and now I've been proven wrong. Ole Miss, on the skin of their teeth, are able to put this one together and are only 4 rounds away from securing the series win and breaking their losing streak.
Geb getting 2 kills with that stinger by the box is just... You just can't let that happen if you're USF. I mean, you know both players are B main, but they still get punished for it. And now they're peeking out. Tempest is punishing him for it. Tempest just knows where all these players are. He wants more. The battle stage coming through. Geb is there as well. Crocs has a Vandal, though. He could get a multi-frag here.
Finds that first one onto Crocs, but it doesn't look like it'll matter as the rest of Ole Miss is just going to start their advance further onto A. Tempest is here for the peak, but is going to get some support from Hayes. But,
nice shots coming through, and a 2v5 has turned into a 2v2.
But now the presence has been detected. Spike is already down, and there's knowledge of where both members of USF are coming from. Ole Miss has the potential to put this one quite out of reach for the Bulls if they are not careful. Crocs finds it. Crocs
is clean with it, man. Absolutely decapitating the entire enemy team.
Huge 4K.
4. That's so huge. I mean, I know USF were on a bit of a half buy, but that was such a round you really needed to win, especially after what happened last round. This was really what you needed to turn the tides back in your favor.
And now that 0.21 seconds is going to come and really be so difficult to grovel over when you're considering the fact that this game could be 10-8 right now. You're playing with econ advantage and looking to send this to game 3. Now it's looking a lot tighter, but you still have Ole Miss playing on the brinks. They don't have the guns to work with this round, but they're going to look to try to make the plays happen nonetheless. But Hayes says no.
Hayes is the only one on the remotely close to the side of the map, but he's going to rip the head off of one. It's a counter lockdown coming out from Hayes here. But wow, Ole Miss are just going to continue to push this. I think they want to destroy this lockdown. They are. They're going to go ahead, take the C side for free.
And going to get the wall off, so no CT re-entry from the side of... Oh, but Tempest!
Wow. I don't think that was intentional, but World was peeking out and avoided the bullets at exactly the right time, which allowed for Tempest to re-peek back out and get the kill on an angle that Hayes was not expecting. It's still a 4v4, though.
Things are not what they seem here for the side of USF. They want this easy re-entry, but Ole Miss is not going to give it to them. Boombot will go through, but World finds 2. Oh
my gosh, Javi, 15 HP. He still has so much work to do. I think he has an idea of where Jerb is.
Oh, but Jeb finds it.
Jeb. I pronounced it Jerb, man.
Geb, Jeb, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Geb, Jeb, yeah. I don't know. I kind of confuse it because I just casted with him, actually, when you Rocket League earlier. Little Jub. I'm kind of confusing it with him like a little bit, you know, because it's kind of the same name. I know his is with the J.
It's the exact same name, actually.
It's literally the same name, dude.
This is actually Little Jeb 23.
Little Jeb 23. Imagine his alter ego is in Valorant, man. You know, didn't know.
If Little Jeb was an FPS player, this would be him.
I mean, Jeb is absolutely playing out of his mind right now, just like Little Jeb is out of his mind in Rocket League. So I wouldn't be surprised. Look at Jeb once again. Davy Gravy has a response to that.
Oh, the res.
Never mind. Never mind. 5v3 advantage. Ole Miss just look like they have the round to rights right now. They're going to cross.
These desperation plays, once again, from Fake on this raise are just not it. You try to go for the hero play on this satchel, but it just does not play how you want it. You lose so much momentum. And
the timing.
The look away from the peak. Vega finds 1 with the op on C, finds 2. And this is looking all but over here.
This is so grim right now. Not a great thing to experience if you're USF. The cam just tags him to add insult to injury before Eli finishes it off. Geb just comes on the flank at the perfect timing. We saw Faked holding for the push. Once he turns away, Geb comes out and does a little bit of chip damage. Even though he didn't get a kill, he turns the eyes it allows Vega to peek out and get 2 kills with that operator.
And it's really going to come down to a 0.21 second decision here that turned the game entirely.
Man, if this game, the tides of this game, the turntides of this game are decided by 0.21 seconds, I don't know what to say, man.
But now, Ole Miss, they're playing once again through this grouped up A strategy. They've been able to find some picks previously, but it looks like they might just fully commit to it. Are going to try to watch for the sight line playing through Link. Some chip damage coming out onto Crocs from the KJ turret, and it looks like they're just going to have free entry onto A.
Look at this Killjoy just lurking through C as well. USF are not prepared for this, but I don't know if Ole Miss are thinking about this flank. Never mind. The trip is going to catch them out. Tempest is here.
Oh, Tempest finds 1. Will fall.
Great trade. I don't know if they expect Vega by rocks here. He's going to try and get out. Vega is so low. Davy Gravy gets 1 to get the man advantage. Jobby, you're making these sheriffs work right now. They're doing numbers. Here comes the showstopper going up into heaven.
Finds 1.
Finds Eli. World 1v4 clutch. Can he do it? He's playing around this smoke. No, he gets 1, but it doesn't really matter. The defuse is stuck.
and Crocs will be able to secure that final kill onto World. Nonetheless, stopping the bleeding for now, but not healing the wound just yet.
Yeah, and that was such a great round for USF. I mean, they pushed together through B, and just the teamwork coming out, right? Like, it's impossible to kill all these different players when they're bunched up together. So it's so easy for USF to make these trades. They're hitting these shots with the Sheriff. And Ole Miss, I mean, they weren't really expecting this really heavy flank to come out either. So
Definitely not. Just when they open up the map and allow for this push through B site, Hayes is going to be able to open up this game, though, with an early pick onto World. But the response just wasn't there for Ole Miss. Yeah. As soon as USF is able to really take control of this flank and lay it into the Land Sharks, there's nothing that they could have done.
Yeah, nothing at all whatsoever. I mean,
unless like they won the fights.
Unless if they won the fights. I guess that could play a factor, man. I guess if you aim and click their head, that could possibly win you rounds. But,
perhaps. Perchance.
Yeah, perhaps. But, I mean, the trades coming through for USF definitely did help that past round.
Indubitably.
Crocs looking for one of his own here. Can't quite land the bullets. He's willing to give up B site, wait for his teammates to play retake with him. Tempest trying to get that pick. That fight to sort of even out the numbers. It really need to take an aggressive stance.
Surely there's no way. Oh, they're going to stay and fight it. And that's just going to be an easy, flawless here for USF. Oh, going to accidentally stop before halfway through. But tied at 11.
Wow. It's neck and neck right now. We're like on the brink of overtime, man. It's overtime could go to 12-12. And that's exactly the type of vibe that this map is giving us, just so back and forth on this half.
Yeah, if Ole Miss can string together a response, things could look tricky. They don't really have the guns to work with, but they only need one pick, one gun swap, and snowball from there, and things can change very quickly.
Absolutely. It's interesting that Geb is coming out with the Stinger. Actually, never mind. I thought he was coming out with the Stinger and half armor, but he switched to full gun and armor. So I thought it was going to be a really interesting buy, but nope. Ole Miss are going to play normal, and they're just going to go ahead and swing out onto the C site.
Faked isn't able to find one, has to satchel his way out.
And yeah, I think Ole Miss is just going to continue charging. The Land Sharks looking to make some noise here, looking to find an opening that they haven't been able to find for the last two rounds here.
USF across the map slowly starting to slant defense their way towards the grouping that Ole Miss has put themselves in on this C mound. So will they get caught out on any sort of retreat, any rotate out? Who knows? B site is covered by 2 here, but here's the Fade ultimate to find 4.
Wow, I really like that because it really just kind of, this push is coming. It's easy to find out where these players are going.
But so much utilities coming through now for Ole Miss. Jobby finds another, though, making it a 4v3 situation with the bomb being planted.
Yeah, Jobby caught out that lurk. He was just waiting for it. He was too smart, too wise for the tricks.
30 seconds left.
And now, trying to take this. I thought he was going to take a fight with Geb here, but Geb's smart enough to back off.
Now Jobby pushing through Waterfall with Hades at his side. So much utility to be able to stop any too far advances. Tripwire is blocking off this entryway here as Vega's ready to make the turn. But Viper Wall will come up at the perfect moment. Oh, it's a 1 for 2.
My God, Geb is making it work here. Geb pushes through the smoke, and again, another one. No, Hades is there to clean it up. Hades,
there it is.
There it is. Hades playing, it's way too smart for that. Look at that. Oh, the defuse was a bit close again, but 3 seconds to spare.
Yeah, 3 is much greater than 0.21.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure. That's for sure.
I think Jobby learned from his mistakes in that previous round, but now USF on game point. They're looking to send this one to game 3. The buy, not fantastic here for Ole Miss, having to buy light armor across the board with whatever guns they can muster.
Yeah, this is kind of tough. Light armor, I'm sure there's a bit of like limited utility as well. And all you got is really the KO to work with coming in this last round. Ole Miss really have a tall task ahead of them. But going off that, they think they can take C once again. They're going to try for it again.
Now, Eli is going to be hovering around B as well, but there's the rotate now coming out in effect for USF. Actually going to be backing off, giving sight up for a little bit to allow for the rest of the members to group up and push together. It's going to be a 5v5 retake.
Oh, Hades. I don't think he's watching the right angle. Oh. Eli punishes Hades on the other side of the map and is going to back off wisely.
It's a 4v5 situation. Spike is now planted on C. USF dropping whatever utility they can, but Door's going to swing, and they're going to get caught. Tempest finds 2 with the res on 1. God. Oh, my God. We're going to overtime.
Wow. The Battle Sentinels coming out and showing their attacking prowess.
Now, this is where legends are made here. USF Gold trying to string this one together. They only have so many mistakes that they can make left. Yeah. Dropping 2 means dropping the series and maybe your last chance at securing a win in this conference.
I think that is pretty much what it is. If whoever loses this game is pretty much disqualified from playoffs unless some sort of miracle happens. But yeah, both teams winless. This is really the first step in the door. This is what you need. This is all for the marbles right now. Both teams are feeling the pressure.
Now, I believe Geb isn't rocking any armor, if I saw that correctly.
Did we see that correctly?
I saw the Odin. I didn't see any armor purchase on the menu. I could be wrong about that.
No, I think he might be right because he would have had to purchase the abilities. Maybe he's just rocking it naked right now. You know? Like, he doesn't need it. His aim will just outperform is what he's saying to himself.
Well, now USF reverting back to what worked so well for them on offense. Pushing for this C site. Vega going to get spotted out. There's the satchel, but not enough distance. Grenade might catch it and will.
And Vega was caught. Once they found out he was on that corner, Tempest is on this huge off angle. Put the wall on the boost and spawn. And he's just so high in the sky that it's so hard. You really can't adjust your crosshair to the heavens in time like that.
Man, and what started off so strongly there for USF with the opening pick onto Vega is now a nightmare. 3-4 in favor of Ole Miss as they look to continue pressuring this C site. 2 members of Ole Miss are hanging around B, so there is potential here with that pick there on Tempest.
But Hades has something. Yeah, Hades has something else to say about this. He's gonna let his Vandal bark.
But Eli's gonna be able to get the best of Hades here. Spike is planted, but the chip damage coming through. 2v3 here.
Oh, I think Croc spotted Eli trying to jump spot a little through this smoke, but can't avoid the Omen flash. But he still gets one that's close. Crocs TP's.
Geb finds it. Geb gets it.
Wow. Geb TP'd it just past Crocs, and Crocs wasn't even aware of it at all. And Geb just gets that 2K off that.
Oh my goodness. It was looking so well there for USF, but Geb and Tempest with 2 pieces each were really able to turn it around. And Eli had that pick on Hades that entirely dismantled the site pressure that USF was able to hold. They no longer had the Killjoy utility online, which made the entry just so easy for Ole Miss.
Yeah, like you said, that kill from Eli on the Hades was just so crucial. You really can't be giving up fights like that.
Oh, are we about to have a 4v4 here?
Wow, this A battle is going to start off this round. So exciting. Ready for some battles here. Faked. Kind of just mollied out. Flushed out. World is there to punish.
And it's a 4v5 early on here. How will USF be able to respond? They're going to have to back up and respect for the time being. Hades looking a little aggressive. They're pushing out onto Mound as the rest of Ole Miss looks to make this push. Oh, Hades!
Wow, he was not prepared for Eli to be so close. It seems like Eli's been the better killjoy these past couple of rounds now. 3v5 is going to be such a difficult task for USF right now.
Now the spray from this Odin might come through. Isn't going to connect on any gets Vega quite low. Eli will fall, though. So will
Look
Geb.
at Davy Gravy. He's got 2 of his own. He's trying to put on the highlight reel for us.
Now, USF still not out of it. It's a 3v3. Davy Gravy chunked below half, so things are looking quite perilous there. But now we do see Crocs pushing in from CT side. This spike is going to get tapped. Jobby finds Tempest.
Oh, wow. And look at, I mean, these Ole Miss players are just so far from the spike, but look at Vega. He's on the backstab. Nobody knows. Jobby has his back turned, and Davy Gravy goes down at the hands of World. Ole Miss will take this in overtime, and they're going to take this series 2-0.
They don't check the corner that Vega was sitting in, and what looked so promising on the retake for USF after the triple from Davy Gravy collapses into a loss.
Davy Gravy, it looked like he was giving USF a little bit of hope back and bringing them back in this round, but Vega coming around the corner at the worst possible time, and I don't think it was really calmed over because there was a little bit of time to like calm that Vega was there, but Jobby wasn't there. Jobby wasn't aware that he was behind him. Takes down the spike diffuser, and Davy Gravy's just too far, already taking that fight on the mound. And no hope for USF.
And with that, USF is gonna fall to 0-5 on the season.
On the season for NACE
Varsity Premier. That is it's so tough to see.
Yeah. If you're a USF fan, it's just got to be so disappointing. And this was so tough because it felt like USF were getting that momentum on the Lotus finally. Like they were stringing together 7 rounds in a row at one point. But Ole Miss
couldn't come through.
Yeah, couldn't come through. Ole Miss, props to them, man. I mean, Tempest was probably the MVP just with his dominant performance on Sunset. Really just laid the groundwork for the Land Sharks to get this win.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully, USF Gold can continue their journey in ECAC. They might be eliminated from playoffs in NACE, but they still have a whole nother league and a whole nother set of matches to go.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not done watching Valorant for the rest of this year, but we've still got lots to play for. As always, thank you so much, and go Bulls!
Go Bulls!